Hello viewers, welcome to our TV program Faith and Astrology on Natural TV again. And today I will give you wonderful information about Ramadan and birth chart of Quran and birth chart of Prophet Muhammad. This year Ramadan is in April, so April is the birth month of Prophet Muhammad. As you know, he was born on the 20th of April 571 Anno Domini, and Ramadan this year in April. So of course Qadir night, the night when Quran started coming down, when Prophet Muhammad was in Hira on Hira mountain. He was in Hira cave. Those days some Arabs in Mecca, they were going to the mountain and staying in the cave, and they were listening themselves. While he was in the cave, suddenly Angel Gabriel, he is also called as Holy Spirit by Christians, he started giving the message of the Lord of the universe. First chapter was Alaq. The first chapter was ordering Muslims and the whole world to read in the name of God. To read, to recite, has got some meanings, not only reading something on the paper, reading the life, trying to understand. So read in the name of God means understand in the name of God, or try to understand in the name of God, because we are human beings, and our biggest advantage, according to other creatures in the world, animals, planets, we have got wisdom, and we can think, we can create thoughts. So Allah means the God. He wanted us to think. In the first chapter, Alaq, read in the name of God. He created you from embryo. He taught you to write as well. Yes, first message was clear, ordering people to read, to understand, also to write. After reading, understanding, we really need to create something on thoughts, different thoughts, and we have to write it down. So we human being can develop everything like this. So when Prophet Muhammad was in the cave, he was very surprised when he was told to read by Angel Gabriel. He came as human shape. And he was afraid, of course, as a human, and he went down the mountain, and suddenly he went home and he told his wife, he didn't want to speak. He was shaking, shivering, and he went to the bed. He took the kilt blanket on him, and he was still shaking, shivering, really. Because it's not easy, you know, you are a 39 years old person, and somebody suddenly appears in the darkness and tells you something to read, to understand, in the name of God, most compassionate and the most merciful, telling this also. So this was happened. This happened in August 13th. 610, after midnight, around 1:30. When we look at the birth chart of Quran, it was Quran, sun was in Leo, ascendant was in Gemini. So it is interesting because Leo 13th was 14th of Ramadan that day, because Ramadan is a lunar month, and the lunar calendar is about 13 days less than sun calendar. So the Ramadan is making a circle inside of the year. Every year it is coming 13 days earlier, and that that time, in that period, in 610, the Ramadan, on the 14th of Ramadan, when there was full moon in the sky, and Gabriel had come and gave the message around 1:30, 14th of Ramadan. Normally, as you know, some Islamic sources and alims and some hadith books, they say the Prophet Muhammad said, look for the Qadr night in the last 10 days of Ramadan. It is itikaf also. Itikaf means, going home in a room, not speaking to others, and reading Quran all the time, and making, doing worship and making zikr, reciting the names of God, and some fasting, this kind of worships, and giving some, zakah or sadaqah. In fact, the money must be given to those in need. It is itikaf time period. Since that period, and the Muslims, they were looking for the Qadr night in last 10 days of Ramadan normally. But last 10 days of Ramadan, the moon is getting slower. Getting smaller, sorry. And when moon is getting smaller, it's not positive thing. So it is it is little bit, impossible to having message in that period normally. The 14th of Ramadan is much more logical also, when there was full moon in the sky in the middle of the Ramadan, and also in August. Why in the middle of Ramadan and why in August? First, let's start with August. August is the month of Leo, and the Leo people are mostly generous. Generous is a word in Arabic language, kareem, or kareem in English, in English pronunciation, kareem. Kareem is generosity. Allah is also Al-Karim, the generous. Quran-Karim means reading generously. And also Akram, Rasul Akram. Akram means generous Prophet Muhammad. And Kiram, Sahabe Kiram, generous friends of Muhammad, when we translate into English. And the Mukarrama, Mekke'yi Mukarrama. Mukarrama is also generosity. It's the same word. It's also said for Mecca. So we can say, the generous God, Al-Karim, sent the message to the Akram Rasul, this generous messenger, in Mekke'yi Mukarrama, generous city, and this message was given to the Sahaba Ikram, his generous friends around of Muhammad firstly. And the Quran is a generous book. So, what is the importance of generous? Because when you are generous, you trust in God. When you trust in God, you have hope for God. Hope and trust is the basis of the true faith, really. If you don't have trust and faith, trust and hope for the God, so you cannot be generous. Because Satan comes to you, in front of you. Also, Satan says in Quran, I will approach people from in front and the back and the side, right side and the left side. So when Satan comes from in front, so tells you, come on, don't share. Maybe you will be poor. Maybe, come on, don't think others. Think yourself. Be selfish. Is always talking. This is nafs. Our bad side is talking. The basic aim of this kind of talking is to stop the faith for the Lord. If you don't have trust, if you don't have hope for God, believe in me, you're praying 5 times, your fast in Ramadan or going to Hajj are in vain. Really, iron way. Because the basis of Islamic understanding is, firstly, Tawheed, La ilaha illallah, means there are no gods but Allah, harams and halals. And secondly, trust and hope. And thirdly, generosity. If you are generous, that means I trust in Lord of the universe. So the Leo is generous. When you look at Leo people, they like sharing, and they like helping other people also. And the Quran is the same. And sharing the information generously and tells us to share with the others. But the capitalism tells you to think only yourself and not to give, not to think other people. Normally, we have to be generous to others. Hospitality comes from there. And the Turks, when they migrated from Central Anatolia to Bosnia and Herzegovina and also Serbia a long time ago, Islam spread these places just for Turkish generosity in Balkan states. Nothing else. Serbs, Croatians, Bosnians, or Macedonians and the Bulgarians, they converted to Islam just because of Turkish generosity those days. Ottoman Empire or first Islamic states, they never imposed people to be Muslim. They never did this. People had chosen Islam by themselves because Islam means peace. Why peace? Because if we share our things, information, money, and our power protecting for the poor people or weak people, forgetting the past, and bringing mercy, this kind of things really bring peace to the world. So the correct translation is, Islam is coming from salam. That is why we say salamun alaikum. Salamun alaikum means peace be upon you. Peace be upon you. And salam, the name of God is as-salam, means the peace giver. Islam comes from there and means peace-giving responsibility. Zakah is one of them. And Muslim means, correct translation, the person who found peace and giving peace to others. So did we understand Islam like this? No, unfortunately not. We didn't understand Islam like this. Long time ago, I was atheist. I converted to Islam just because of learning after these kind of details about Islam, really. I was communist and atheist. And when I observed Islam, I found very interesting things, especially learning Arabic language and looking into the details, semantics, his history, Islamic history, after reading it literally, and also the Quran semantically, historically, eclectically reading brings you principles from Quran and brings you to the universalism. And Quran's ascendant, birth chart ascendant is Gemini. Why Gemini? Gemini is an air group horoscope, star sign. And the Gemini is the horoscope of Mercury. And Mercury is represented by the brain, human brain. Human brain in the left side doesn't believe and says, La ilaha, there are no gods, the left side. And the right side says, Illa Allah. Only the God, but the God. There are no gods, but the God. There are no gods, except the God. The God is the correct translation is Allah. This is the God. Allah word comes from, in Arabic language, al-ilah. Al-Ilah is the correct translation, is the God. One, unique, perfect God. And he doesn't have sharing divine godness with the other people or other things. He's one unique God. And human brain, left side and the right side, tells this. And we have two brains, left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. And Gemini people also are very clever. And they look at different ways into the life and different angles as well. And they, when they look one side, they see and say la and no to the bad things, and the yes for the good things, halals. So Quran has got another name, is Furqan. Furqan, the correct translation of Furqan is a book which separates things, bad and good. The bad and the good. Separating two. What is haram, what is halal. What is bad, what is good. What is white, what is black, or what is green, or what is red. What is orange, or what is blue. Because opposites. And also woman, man is talking. And also when we look at the words like heaven and hell, or justice or injustice, words in Arabic language, in balance really, amount of the words, when we look at all the words are in balance and separated really, all the, not only words, also some concepts as well. We have to think detailedly about this. And the opposite things in the life beautifully and detailedly defined by Quran, and that is Furqan. This is very important word, and there is a chapter in Quran as Furqan, and the Furqan name is typical Gemini name, male name, and my son's name is also Furqan. Purposely I named with this name. He's also, my son is clever really. He's thinking in different ways. And Gemini has got also a message for the Muslims. Quran tells Muslims 850 times, think. Why don't you think detailedly? Why don't you use your brain? You use your brain rarely. Criticizes us not using our brain. If we use our brain, so we can develop, we can improve in our life really. But today, many Muslims reading Quran only in Arabic language, and they don't understand anything about message of Quran. Even hundreds of years really, many years, Muslims believed Sirat Mustaqim, Sirat is a bridge in the other world, they taught. And I declared in my books first time, Sirat is not a bridge in the other world, it's a street in English, Strada in Latin, and Straße in German, and also Straat in Dutch, and Srat in Old Greek. Yes, Srat is Old Greek word because there were no streets in Arabic cities, villages in fact. They were like village. And the street is only in the big cities inside. That is why Prophet Muhammad changed the city of Yathrib. He gave a new name, Medina. Medina means city. Madaniya in Arabic language comes from Medina, and also it means civilization. So Islamic civilization's basis is a street, Quranic street in Medina. So we made it a bridge. So how can we make a big civilization thinking that Sirat is a bridge in the other world, not knowing that it's a street in Medina, telling us forbidden things, harams, and traffic signs, and traffic sign means ayah, verse in Arabic language. Forbidden things and free things, halals. Harams and halals, they were defined by Quran, Furqan, what to do and not to do. So we have to drive our car in this on Quranic street, carrying the traffic signs on the sides. So that way we can create a new civilization in the world. So Islamic astrology, faith and astrology, since the first program episode, I always try to give this information to make you understand about this mentality. I know for most of the people this is very new thing, but when you think, when you read, when you observe, so you give me right. Anyway, so there is the birth chart of Quran. When we look at the birth chart of Quran also, we can see very interesting positions of two planets. One of them is Saturn, other one is Jupiter. They are in the 9th house of the Quran birth chart. And the message of the 9th house is journey for faith. 9th house is journey to the Hajj. When you go to Hajj, when you in journey, you learn a lot of things. Long time ago, Muslims, they were going to Mecca on camel or horseback. They were going in a year or 2 years according to the distance of the country. And while they were going, they were learning languages in each country. They were learning cultures. They were learning different things, different techniques about, pottery or any kind of art or any kind of things. When they get back to their country after pilgrimage, the same way going, imagine please, a Muslim Chinese coming to Mecca on the horseback or camelback and going back again 1 year, 2 years. If he goes twice to the Hajj, he could be like a professor. And everyone was coming and asking that person about life, because every pilgrimage, any Hajj is Turkish. They knew a lot of things with big vision, universal person. He was coming. And he was giving all the information. He was carrying all the thoughts and the things to the country. And the Muslims, they could make beautiful civilizations long time ago. So the 9th house in Islamic astrology is journey, other countries, foreign countries, and learning a lot of different things. I teach my Islamic astrology lessons about this also. And 9th house on the journey of to the Mecca on Quran's birth chart, Saturn and the Jupiter. Message is brief. Saturn is La ilaha illallah, and Jupiter is giving the messages Illa Allah. Saturn is the ruler planet of not only Capricorn, but also is the ruler of Aquarius. Aquarius is the ascendant of Prophet Muhammad, the air group, wisdom. And Aquarius has got good mind to say, to refuse all the gods. La ilaha. There are no gods. So many Aquarius people are atheists first, but they refuse it. But if they think detailedly about the creation in the world, starting from the atoms until the planet systems, universe, they can understand there is one creator, very powerful, one unique God, that is Illa Allah, except the God. There are no gods except the God. So Saturn is giving the message of La ilaha. Jupiter brings, after cleaning the brain, onto the clean wisdom, Illa Allah. So we can see another thing, a very interesting thing, very similar thing to Prophet Muhammad's birth chart. Because Prophet Muhammad, he was born on the 20th of April, 571, midnight, after midnight, 1:30 around. When we look at that time, is also Prophet Muhammad's ascendant is Aquarius, and the sun is in Aries. So Prophet Muhammad is Aries, Quran is Leo. What is the message? Courage. You have to have courage to say the truth. Otherwise, cowards cannot do anything. President of Bosnian, former President Alija Izetbegović. I like him very much. Rest in peace, inshallah. I visited his grave in Bosnia, in Sarajevo. He had a speech about bravery. Islam is going to rise up on the shoulders of the brave people and generous people. He was right. Cowards cannot do anything. Pbuh, before a war, he invited the non-believer commander to the Islam. Non-believer kafir commander said, "Okay, Abu Bakr, I accept Islam and I accept praying 5 times, fasting in Ramadan, everything. But please don't take zakah from us. I don't want to pay zakah. I don't want to pay sadaqah. I don't want to pay infaq. You know, this is a tax, must be given to the poor people only." Abu Bakr said, very interesting thing. Bravely, he said. He gave his brief message bravely. He said, "I don't care if you do the other things. I'm not here to make you Muslim. I'm here just for the poor people, not only in my country, also in your country. We are collecting zakah for the poor people, and we are also collecting money from the non-believers, not zakah, but jizya. It is just a little bit more than zakah. If you choose Islam, you have to give zakah. If you don't choose Islam, you have to give jizya. And I want that money not only for building palaces in my country for myself, like sultans or Caesars or some kings. I'm not sultan, I'm not king," he said. "I just want that money for the people, poor people, for the peace," he said. Then Kafir commander said, "Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu rasulullah." He became Muslim and he started giving zakah. We need brave commanders like Abu Bakr, like Omar, like Ali, like Osman. Are we really brave? This is an important point. And Quran's ascendant is Gemini. Prophet Muhammad's ascendant is Aquarius. This is air. This is wisdom. Air element is indicating thinking, learning, observing, acting on the way of wisdom as well. What is the most important thing? Bravery or wisdom? Thinking. Fire or air? They both need each other. There cannot be fire without air. Can you burn anything without air? No. So both of them are important. But bravery is a little bit more important, because if you have got normal IQ level, normal, but if you are very courageous, you can move on, you can do something. And after trying again, you can get experience and you can succeed. But if you are coward, even if your IQ is 200 and moreover, if you are a coward person, you cannot move, you can't do anything. So normal IQ level and more bravery. So we can see on the birth chart of Quran and Prophet Muhammad, they were first brave and also clever enough. And today, we Muslims, unfortunately, most of us, we don't use our brains. And without using brain, after the bad results, then we blame Allah. Is it really fair? No. So we have to revise our religious vision, because we are in the 21st century. Quran says, feed the horses against the enemy. So Turkey is making one of the most beautiful and the powerful drones in the world, not feeding horses. So African brothers, I sound you. Please work for your country. It is important. Your country is normally rich. You have got a lot of natural sources. You have to own your own natural sources. And you must give this kind of God's gifts to the whole nation. We have to be like this. And against any kind of colonists. Turkey, not only in history and not now. Our country was not colonist. We ruled many countries as Ottoman Empire, not only in Europe, not only in the Middle East, but also in North Africa. We always believed Africans are our brothers. You are our brothers. And there are Africans, the black people, black Turks in Western Turkey. They have got villages in the southern Turkey as well. You are our brothers, and we like you. It is also because of Bilal, who was the first Muslim. He was black from Antioquia. Bilal Habeshi, Habeshi means Antioquia. And he recited azan, calling for prayer first time at the top of Kaaba. That is important. You and we are equal. Allah looks our hearts. One of my favorite thinker is Malcolm X. He was Afro-American in the United States. Muhammad Ali Clay, he was great, not only a boxer, he was a philosopher, a great thinker. I also respect Martin Luther King. And so today's message, looking at Qurans and also Prophet Muhammad's birth charts, courage and the wisdom. And this Ramadan gives you this message together in April. Ramadan Mubarak And greetings from Ankara, Turkey. Ayhan Özcimbit. Faith and Astrology. I thank you very much being with us. Hope to see you again. Goodbye.